Should be lah.
Hola.
Hola.
Just testing any late birds. Not only birds. Late birds, okay?
Good afternoon, good evening,
Good night.
good night.
Good night, how to say in Spanish?
Buenas noches. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, yesterday I just Googled it. Buenas noches. Okay. Let's see if there's anyone watching.
Carmel Diaz is here, probably similar time zone, Carmel.
Maybe not so loud lah, huh?
Okay.
Okay. We have to keep our volume as low as possible, but thankfully for the mic, I assume that all of you can still hear us. This is a very impromptu Facebook Live. It's just that because we are now at the Valencia's Oceanographic, right?
Yes.
Oceanographic, and it's drizzling outside. Alright, so since it drizzles, okay, so in a way we just thought of okay, we sit indoor, again we are trying our luck, see anyone stop us later on, okay, whether when we're going live here, okay, if no one stops us, we will continue, if anyone stops us, then we will say ciao. Yeah, and the purpose of me doing this live is actually I want to share something to me it's very meaningful. Jen Ho, I also enjoy. Hi Jen Ho, you're also late bird, so late also you haven't slept. Yeah, I just want to share is my experience for this particular leak, okay, of the whole entire Spain trip itself is where on the day that we arrive Valencia, okay, Valencia as in a lot of I would say magical things happen. All right, you can hear, right, Melvi Gadas, thank you so much, okay?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, all right? So, yeah, this is late night time for all of you, okay? Just talk to us, okay? And, yeah, I see, Diane also, wow, Diane, you sleep so late also.
Hi, Diane.
Hi, Diane. Okay, I just want to share about, because I will just say that recently in a private group where we are communicating with our Soul Journeys group, okay, on WhatsApp, and one of the participants, Peggy Ang, all right, hi Diane. Okay, yeah. Peggy actually shared, okay, that she was watching this movie called the Da Vinci Code, Da Vinci, right? Okay, so just let me know how many of you here have actually watched the Da Vinci Code. It's actually a pretty quite old movie, but in a way, not surprisingly, I have never watched it. I know about it, I knew about it, I know it's a good movie, but I've never watched it. I think Kong, you have watched it before?
I did. It's actually from 2006, I think, so it's not a new movie by any means, more than 15 years.
Yes.
And it was one of the, at that time, probably the longest movie because it's actually from a book by Dan Brown, and it's, you know how books are, I think it's a really, really thick book, and then they have to condense it into a movie.
Yeah, Melvika just watched it before as well.
And then it's got many sort of parts and developments to it. So and then they brought it down to about almost 2.5 hours, which for movies released during that time is actually quite long.
Yeah,
so if not the longest.
Yeah, and the purpose for me to do this Facebook Live is I just want to share with you as in the coincident things that happen once we step foot into Valencia and all this of course it's the first thing is when I was in Barcelona. Okay, when we were in Barcelona I was there was we have a few days there, and I was just asking Kong Yu is any place that is worth the visit or should we visit, okay, then Kong Yu says that, probably not, okay, but he remember he read somewhere about this a place, and at that moment, I think he just read about it, he's not sure which particular place it is, okay?
Essentially, we're looking for more, because we've been to Spain once in 2019 where we've seen a lot of the churches and a lot of the most churches and monasteries, which was our focus when doing that trip, besides food. And then this trip we wanted to keep it mixed.
Yes.
Right, so Jessie said, you know what, look for interesting places that we might want to visit. And then this was one on the list that we're about to share, right? But it was just sort of general information. We didn't zoom in any specifics. We just knew that we want to visit maybe some more sort of spiritual or churches which stuck out,
or something different,
right? And to mix it up with different activities like this oceanographic.
And I remember when I asked Kong Yu back in Barcelona, okay, and then he told me about actually I read about this place that we can consider to visit, which is about this the holy
chalice,
the holy chalice, Holy Grail they call it, okay.
Right.
It means that cup, okay, that Jesus used in a way during the Last Supper, okay. So when he told me that time, I mean, no offense, but to me it's I have to purposely go and to see a cup, maybe not, okay? So I decided, we are not going, all right? And then surprisingly, on the day that we reached Valencia, already as in like magical things happened because the Airbnb that we booked on top, okay, just right at the ground floor, there is a shop, okay, and this crystal shop itself, okay, sells a lot of statue. Of course, I see Buddha statue and all this there, and also the flower of life that captures my attention. So I was like so excitedly on the Sunday, it was closed, okay, so I was like, oh, look, flower of life. It's like, wow, okay, I like it. And then after that, I saw, okay, statues, right, okay, of Isis, of Anubis, all right, Bastet, right, all the statues are there. And then I was like, okay. And then the thing is, we have been communicating with our team as in after Egypt itself, in every single destinations that we in a way go in Spain, all right, Egypt has been following us, even in the train. All right, so long story short, okay, so when I see all these things, I was like, wow, that's quite, okay, special because Goddess Isis is there, very beautiful. So, and then after that, we were just like trying to stroll down the street, okay, not knowing where to go. We just go look for food and then just go along. And then, of course, Nicole was like busy taking photo and everything. And then we saw this place, which is like very, very old looking building. I assume that it is a church, but at the time we are not sure. Okay, it's just very beautiful near the fountain. Okay, I share on my story about the fountain. So we took photo and then we walked towards the front of that building itself, and it's open and it's very welcoming. But we can see clearly there are entrance fees,
There's fees,
8 or 9 euros or
there's
something
specific,
like that.
of course, mass hours.
Yeah.
Right. So there were. And then, of course, there was an entrance fee for the normal visits as well.
Yeah, but of course, everything in Espanol, right? Okay, so it's like I don't really bother to like read like very closely into it, and somehow we just walked in.
Yeah, we kind of knew, of course, we knew from the way it looked, especially with the entrance and all that it was a church.
Yeah. By the time we reached the entrance, because we didn't discover the building through the entrance, okay, we were at the back,
the side,
okay.
right.
So when we go to the entrance, like, oh, this looks like a church, and then it seems like, wow, this church needs to charge entrance fees, okay. But nevertheless, we just go in now and see like where shall we buy ticket or whatever, since we have nothing to do, right? And once we walk in, it's like no one asks us to buy ticket, no one actually charges for entrance fee, and I see that, oh, seems like there is some, I mean, it's like a mass or ceremonies going on.
Right. And throughout this process, I was behind Jessie, and I saw that there was entrance fees, and then I was like, oh, okay, I guess she's going in to take a look and all that, and I wasn't, to be honest, I wasn't sure. I just followed, and I did in my mind think, hey, wait, is there an entrance fee? Why are you walking in? And there's no one at the door.
Stopped us. No one asked for anything, and I just walk in.
And then we saw the mass going on, so that could have explained it.
The mass has not started.
Had not started, but people
we
were
just
gathering.
See people gathering there. People, some seated, right? Some are looking around. So we just walk into it. It has a sign there to say that this is like a meditation place for people to do prayers, okay, observe silence and all these things. So I just went in, and then once we got in, not long after, and then suddenly I think, do you call it the bishop?
Yeah.
Is it the bishop of the church, right?
The person presiding over the ceremony and the mass.
And then after that, suddenly it started.
Right.
And then, like, without really much thinking about it, both of us just went onto one of the bench there and just followed through the entire ceremony. It was very, I don't understand a word at all.
Yeah.
Okay?
It was all in Spanish.
Everything in Spanish. But it feels very good. It feels very, very, very soothing, very calming, very comforting.
Yeah. It was like that once we stepped into the doors of this church, this cathedral.
And from afar, because it's huge, it's big. So later on, probably I want to share some photos, right? And I see that it's like, I assume that it's Mother Mary carrying Jesus, baby Jesus. It's like, it's a very, very nice, because you see, I'm very, very connected to Kuan Yin, and I always believe that Mother Mary is part of Kuan Yin energy of the West, okay? So from afar, because it's like even the front part of the main altar of the church itself is huge, right? So I thought I saw, probably I was thinking, hey, maybe this is like a church, or maybe a Catholic church that's dedicated to Mother Mary and all that. Never mind, we followed through the whole entire mass. It took us about like an hour. Or somewhere around there. And then after that, okay, when it finishes, then we just walk, okay, to the side. There's a side chapel to it. And once we walk inside, it's like, I was like, wow, that is a chapel that is supposed to be, in a way, storing or exhibiting the Holy Grail, okay, right? Which of course they are apparently, I know nothing about this. I know nothing about the Holy Grail, the chalice, okay, or nor the Last Supper, okay. But when I went in, there is a small little explanation cards for tourists, which is in English. I took it and I read, and it says that, okay, this is one of the Holy Grail in the world out of a few or many that people claim that is the original one, but this is the one that a lot of people, in a way, agrees to it, because the debate or the claims, okay, so far no one can attest it yet. Okay, that's what I read from that card itself. And a few popes, okay, has in a way officiate, okay, certain ceremony in Valencia before, okay, in a way like recognizing this Holy Grail as a holy chalice of like the one that Jesus has in a way used or vessel, okay, right, during his Last Supper. Okay.
And just to fill that in, right? So as we were entering not this chapel, entering the whole cathedral as a whole, so then we all had to observe silence because it was fairly clear that people were gathering for the mass and all that. So everyone is quiet, just like many cathedrals and churches, right? Overall, and I started to see words, and then they're all in Spanish, and I started to see the words like holy and chalice and all that. I started to observe on the sides, and like, could this be the place that
The one
popped
that
up
he thought supposed to be in Barcelona.
I forgot where it was, because when I did research overall, it was for the whole Spain trip, and I just knew that certain places had certain highlights overall, and one of the cities was where this holy chalice or holy grail was.
Yeah.
So then I was like, as we were approaching where we sat for the mass and all, I was like, could this be the place? You know, but I wasn't 100% sure. So as the mass started, I took up. I'm like,
and he was like searching for
I
it,
was searching
and then
for
he was
it, and
trying
then
to
I
show
showed
me, and of course I was like, okay, whatever.
Because the mass was on,
yes,
right? And we couldn't do
I'm
much.
really indulging myself in the mass.
Yes,
I
that
don't
too.
understand at all, but
Yeah.
I'm appreciating the energy.
The
It felt
energy,
really good.
it felt
And when
very comfortable.
And when we went into the
Yeah.
chapel, when I actually see the Holy Grail right in front of me, behind the bulletproof glass, okay? Right, okay, that bring him from Israel. Yes, Jesus is not from Spain.
Jesus is
yes,
not
that's
from-
why they have a story from it. They bring in, and they say that the original Holy Grail for this one, okay, now the thing is, okay, this particular Holy Grail, only the top part of it, okay, they believe that it was originated either, okay, in Syria or Alexandria, which is part of Egypt.
Yeah.
All right? So to me, I was like, oh, interesting. Okay, it's interesting because I understand, of course, by the time Jesus, the era where Jesus stories and all this is like around like the year, like 2,000 over years ago, okay? And you know that Egypt has been really in their prime, right, ever since 4,000 over 5,000 years ago. So I thought of like, oh, with this holy chalice, which is originated from there, okay, which Jesus has used it, I mean, it's possible, okay? But the story, the point of the story is, okay, once I feel it, I feel the energy. It was such amazing chapel, okay? And yeah, Moses was from Egypt, yeah, okay? And then, yeah, and then after that, I was like, wow, okay? The whole thing was like so amazing. Then I realized that I think probably on the same day, or was it the day before, Peggy Ang, which is also a participant to the Souls Egypt group, right, okay? She sent a caption onto the group and says that she just watched Da Vinci Code, okay? Again, and was it again, or she just watched it? I'm not sure, I've not seen it. And she captured a shot where, okay, it was shown that Mother Isis and Horus was there, okay? And I have no idea what Da Vinci Code is. I know it's famous, and I decided to like ask Kong Yu, let's watch Da Vinci Code tonight, and that was last night. All right, so that's why last night I couldn't really sleep. Okay, so I watched it, and it was like so amazing, and the whole entire sort of like a movie itself, in a way, talks about the Holy Chalice or the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
Right, and of course, I mean. Then I was asking myself, I said, like, what is the purpose of all this coincidence that happened, okay? Or supposedly, I said no to going to see a cup. Excuse me, pardon me, okay? When he suggested, I said, no, I'm not going to purposely see a cup, okay? And then we were brought to the cathedral that in a way housed this cup or this chalice, okay, which is in a way recognized as the one,
Right.
okay,
Not
in the
knowing
world.
it was in Valencia, or
Not knowing,
forgetting that it was.
Yeah, okay. And everyone needs to pay for it. And so happened that when we go, we were just like we just went in without really even need to pay for it.
It was.
And I then after that go into the Cathedral of Valencia and read the reviews, and some people didn't get to see it because not all the time the chapel is open. Some people go at the time the chapel is closed and they don't get to see the Holy Grail itself. So after all these things, I thought that it cannot be just such a coincidence. And I was asking myself, as in like, so what is the message here? What is the purpose? Like, why am I brought to actually like a Church of Mother Mary to see, okay, the Holy Chalice and also the Holy Grail, okay? And yeah, what exactly are the message for me? And I realized that, of course, thanks to Da Vinci quote itself, right? It talks about the chalice.
That's right. Which again, when Peggy put it on the list, you know, I had forgotten because such an old movie. I watched it when it first released. Jessie has no idea what the movie is about, and we both, of course, had no idea that it was about a story about a version of the Holy Grail itself.
Yeah, okay. And then after that, I realized that, I mean, no offense, I know that somehow this movie has a bit of controversial as together with the book. And for me, I just want to talk about like deeper meaning, like coincidence, okay, because I believe that everything happens for a meaning.
Synchronicity.
And synchronicity and also the meaning behind it in terms of spirituality. And to me, I see the message as in like, it is brought upon us, and me, myself especially, as in like, due to the message from the Da Vinci Code sort of like movie, I realized that the whole purpose is in a way to remind me that over this centuries and centuries, thousands and thousands of years itself, okay, how the yin counterpart of thing, because the chalice represents the female, the yin counterpart, women. Excuse my beer. This is not actually a beer. This is only a shandy. That's why I'm so weird. It's only a shandy. Trust me. Okay, all right. Okay, you hold for me first. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
So the Holy Grail itself, like a cup, it represents yin, and that is exactly, it's like the pendants that, you know, the star equilibrium pendant, where the inverted triangle and also the triangle itself. So
yang.
the triangle, the yang represents, is like,
A blade.
A blade, okay,
Yeah,
right?
right.
A blade to it, okay, that represents like the phallus, okay, like man, muscular, penis pointing up, okay, yang energy, right? And the chalice represents the yin counterpart, yin energy. And there is so much controversial and everything makes me realize that, imagine feminine energy, yin energy, okay, or women, okay, or the shadow, whatever that's represented in terms of Chinese astrology, the shadow work, the yin counterpart of things, right, has been oppressed, has been suppressed for thousands and thousands of years. And it's period 9, right? And I suddenly comes to me last night when I was reflecting and thinking about it, doing research and all these things, and I realized that, right, the message to me is now is like to focus more into empowerment of the yin, about embracing the yin, about how to embrace the yin energy. Imagine that. I mean, of course, I respect Jesus. I love Jesus. In fact, even now, okay, people who knows me knows that part of my prayers when I invoke and invite all the gods and goddesses, okay, Jesus is part of it because he is my first sort of like, I would say, religions that I got attracted to, okay, when I was like still in my primary school. So the thing is, you see, we have been living in thousands of years in a male-dominant world. I'm not saying that we should disrespect the male figure or the yang figure, but imagine that over these thousands of years itself, right, okay, the dark, the shadow, the yin counterpart, the women, okay,
Or the
right?
feminine.
Or the feminine, Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, the chalice, all these things has been greatly like oppressed or suppressed. We have been shut. Our voices has been shut, okay? The shadow work, the darkness, okay? Even emotions, people see as in like, there are certain parts that consider good emotions and bad emotions. We want to talk about good emotions. We don't want to talk about bad, so-called bad emotions. And I think that the whole entire coincidence that comes to me is a message, okay? To me, to us, to people that I'm connected to, probably to all of you here, okay, right, in the middle of like almost midnight, okay, in the dark itself, and you're still staying awake, okay, that's Camilla Dell's message, okay, that in a way that is still staying awake to listen to this particular Facebook Live of my sharing, okay. So I see it as a message to me to look further into shadow work, to look further into our yin counterpart, our feminine just a feminine side. Now, when I say feminine, doesn't mean that only women, you know.
Yep.
Like I believe that every male and female, man or woman alike, there is a like masculine energy within us and a feminine energy within us. Okay, so I will see that the world needs more awakening and also acknowledgement of the feminine energy, the energy of Mother Goddess, the energy of the earth. Okay, the earth should be as much celebrated as much as heaven, all right? Because heaven has been celebrated so much, okay? But yet earth is like not, like heaven is
Usually
always magical,
magical,
and earth
earth
is
is
always like,
hell.
yeah, okay?
Version of hell.
Yeah, but I think that as much as heaven has been celebrated, earth needs to be celebrated as well. As much as masculine energy has been celebrated, how man has been celebrated, or like masculine energy has been celebrated, I think women or the feminine energy, be it within a woman or within a man himself, okay, needs to have that acknowledgement as well. All right, so I'm not sure whether you understand what I mean, but when these things comes to me, okay, I was like, wow, so that is my message, and that is supposed to point me down the path where this is the thing that I should be paying more attention to.
Yeah,
all right? How can I come up with contents, with workshops, with sharings, okay, that can actually bring people out from the darkness, or people to embrace the darkness, so that they are no longer afraid of the dark, they're no longer afraid of the yin. Right? I try to do research as in, so many different religion. I mean, I'm not condemning religions. Religions is just like politics. I've always said that it's part of like fire energy, right? How many unnecessarily, right, I would say, sacrifices has in a way happened in history due to masculine ego? Okay, how paganism, okay, Wicca, witchcraft and other things has been suppressed, okay, has been punished, okay, or has been oppressed over the years in history itself, okay, just because of like certain, I would say, fear, okay, or the ego of the masculine side, okay, in order for them to rule the world, or for us to rule the world. Probably, I believe that many of my past life are male as well, okay, for us to rule, for us to take control. How much oppression have we done to the feminine side? And the whole entire night, I think I was reflecting this up to about like 4 a.m. I couldn't really sleep, okay? And it's like, I think it is time now, like Michelle Su is watching. I see a lot, okay, people on my Facebook page, my friends list and all that. I see a lot of, I would say, female goddess, I would say goddess warriors. Let's put it that way. I see a lot of goddess warrior. Like goddess warrior, to my perspective, is like we don't fight a war by just using our egoistic sort of manner into winning and winning, okay? But we fight a war of like true love, embracing, understanding, forgiving. It's all yin, okay? Right? So these are the things that I think is emerging in this new period that we're coming in this new world that we're coming in. When period 9 emerges, okay, the changes or the burning or the fire that comes into it is going to bring this particular element of the feminine part of the element to comes into light. It's bringing or shining light into this part of the darkness, the hollowness, the void, okay, that has been shut, right, or pushed underground for over these thousands and thousands of years. I mean, yeah, that's how I see it.
Yeah. Overall, that's the crux of it, and it's not something in a way, especially if like many of you, I'm sure, almost all of you will be quite in tune with this idea, right, of honoring both the feminine and also the masculine principles. How that, whether it's it's a gender or anything, it's a man or woman, it doesn't matter. But it's how in the past patriarchy is always championed, right? It's always the way to go, and everything that's outwardly yang is also in a way celebrated much more. And in fact, the yin is suppressed or it is condemned.
Yeah, people celebrate the sun.
That's
and
right.
Not many people celebrate the moon.
The moon, and similarly, even that's why, there is a need to be more cognizant. Even just let's say when we use astrology or we use metaphysics, to be more cognizant of, say, for example, the lunar cycle. That's one thing, right? And then secondly, anything that's got to do with release, the ascension due to accumulation of wisdom and learning and all that, as opposed to just always wanting the result, right? Or the manifestation, which is very yang, right? So it's always that, and really, I think the in a way the key to to striving that balance that we need in period 9, right, is really in working more with the yin, right? Even when it comes to the application of astrology, for example, and so on.
Yeah, and Diane is there. I mean, in a way, Diane is a warrior. I mean, she's strong. I mean, in a way, it's like when it comes to success level, I'm sure career and all those things, right? Okay, but at the same time, I'm so amazed. I still remember that picture inside me. It's like when I see the feminine side of Diane, it's like almost like I can see like Goddess Isis within her, and that's such a very wonderful, really a very wonderful thing to see, right? How we can embrace, be masculine at the same time. There's still this feminine side within us that we are like fully embracing, and we are honoring it, okay, without being shameful about it, without being like shy about it, or without need to actually oppress or suppress it any longer. All right, I guess that I want to make it clear openly on my Facebook here, so that I will be remembering this message, okay, and that will be the path of the guidance, okay, towards this year, okay, I mean 2023, upcoming year, or the years to come, that this will be the path that I need to focus more in, okay, coming up with workshops or classes or anything that besides honoring just the light works, okay, we have to also honor the shadow work, all right? Okay, so yeah, in old times in Europe countries, the witches used to be killed when they used to speak about the yin side. Yeah, I understand. Okay, yeah, that's exactly what I mean. And when I see all these things, it's like how histories, sometimes, I mean not sometimes, I mean both of you understand, especially if you're Malaysians, right? Histories can be changed by whoever that is in power, all right? I mean, those of you who have been to Egypt with me, you know how certain pharaohs have like, in a way, like cut out the previous pharaohs' names, okay, and carved their own name on it, right? So histories can change. Histories change in the will of the person who is ruling, right? And you've seen that how all the female pharaohs, okay, or the queen of Egypt, names has been taken out, okay? They are not celebrated, okay? A lot of people do not want to acknowledge this, okay? At the same time as like what Camellia has says that in Europe itself, like people see them as witchcraft. It's bad. You talk about yin, you talk about rituals relating to the moon or the yin side of things, you will get killed, you get drowned, you get burned alive, all right? But the world is changing. I think this is the moment. This is a now, okay? And I'm sure many of you here where you're supposed to be on your bed and sleeping, and yet you choose to stay on here. Many of you here, I believe, has a previous lifetimes of this goddess warrior, of this like Wiccans in you, this like, the white witch within you. There are previous lifetimes of you who are very in tuned or connected, okay, like spiritually. That's why I make you an old soul, and that's why you're here, okay, probably in the middle of the night watching this and tuning into this. So I want to really urge out to all of you, okay, remember, with whatever little lights that we have within us, shine it out. Shine into every corners of the shadows that we can see within the small matters around us, within our friends, our family members, within ourselves, okay? Right? Whatever that we deem as yin, whatever we deem as shameful, as shy, or as like not supposedly or not appropriate to talk about, okay? Right? All these things that has been kept in the dark all these centuries long, it is time for us to shine the light upon it and bring it to light. Bring it to light, bring it to awareness, bring it to how to say, acknowledgement, okay? Put knowledge into it. Like, let people understand it, because we fear what we do not understand. But once more people understand this, okay, it will eliminate more fear in the world. And I guess that progressively as a whole, that is how the energy of the world ascend. Yeah, I think the rain, it's still raining. Okay. No rush, because outside it's still raining. Right. So yeah, basically I think that is what I want to share, and I want to also share this link onto our WhatsApp private group for the Soul's Journey. And this is a purpose I want to call out. For now, I will just say is that, okay, all of us, we shall not, in a way, be fearful of the darker side anymore. You know, darker side can mean it's like our our sadness. A lot of people see sadness as yin, as dark, as like bad, okay, and don't want to talk about it. Our depression, our anger is bad and don't want to talk about it, okay. Even sex, right? In Spain here, okay, I open up the energy of like sexual studies and knowledge. Of course, I have to bring Nicole, that finally she's 18 years old, right? Okay, so I was bringing her around into all these adult shops and all these things because she is finally licensed to do it, okay. And I opened her up to this, I educated her, and I have to tell her that how important for us to share the knowledge and understanding and importance of knowing sexual education, knowing our body, how to pleasure ourselves, okay? Because if not, a lot of people will think that pleasuring self is a shameful thing. Pleasuring self is something that you shouldn't even talk about, okay? Like honoring your body, okay, is something that, I mean, it's nighttime now, right, in Malaysia, okay. A lot of people like talk about masturbation, man. People talks about like pleasuring yourself and all these things. Oh no, my God, Jessie, how can you talk about these things? Shameful. I guess now this is what I mean by the dark. This is what I mean by the yin energy. All this yin energy needs to come to a level where it needs to also have its fair, I would say, share of balance in the world. All right, that is what I mean by bringing things to the light.
Yeah.
All right, how big difference I can see. Okay, all right. Any questions here? I can see.
No questions, nice comments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are going to keep this short and
yes,
sweet.
this is
Okay,
gonna
I
be
know
short and
it's
sweet.
yeah. We know it's late now. Okay, we are like nothing to do, waiting for the rain to stop. I'm having shandy. Come on, show your beer. Show them that
Mine's
this is
down
really
here.
shandy. You
Yeah.
see, I'm drinking shandy and you see my face.
Yeah.
Right.
Cheers.
But it's nothing to be shameful of.
Right. Yeah. A big shout out to Camellia. Thanks for all your comments, right? And I think Alan said hello a while back. Diane, of course. Anna as well. Anna says
Oh,
she's
Anna
looking
is there
forward.
for-
She's looking forward to the upcoming workshops. Nice sharing.
Right.
Thanks, Anna.
Okay.
Karen is here. Karen Chia, Felicia Chin, I think just
Hey,
joined
Mr.
us.
Lim. Hi,
and
neighbor. Mr. Lim also
yes,
there.
your previous
Okay.
neighbor, Mr. Serious Brights.
Okay, Felicia also there.
AB Chu, you're welcome.
So toast to all of you.
Yep.
Okay. I think from this Facebook Live onwards, we make a pledge that bring more awareness to our daily life, the small little things in our life itself, okay? The moment if we realize that we are shying away, running away, feeling shameful, whatsoever, from the darker side of things, the yin counterpart of things, probably we need to remind ourselves, okay, it is time for, is it a revolution? You would call it? It's not revolution as in rioting or whatever, but it's a revolution as in bringing more lights to it. It is a time for a change. Cheers! Okay, cheers. Serious Bright. Mr. Lim, cheers. Okay, cheers to all of you. Okay, have a great evening. Okay, to those of you who are in Malaysia, Singapore timeline. Okay, and to the rest of you in the rest of the world. Okay, cheers. All right, bye. Good night.
Ciao from Adios from Valencia for now.
Yeah.